The Zorathian War Council had planned for 17 cycles. Their fleet of 300 vessels hung in the darkness beyond Neptune's orbit, cloaked and confident. Admiral Kreshtok examined the holographic display of the blue-green planet with predatory satisfaction. "They are primitive," he declared to his assembled commanders. "Their scattered military forces, their divided nations, they will crumble before we strike the first blow." What the Zorathians didn't know was that every transmission, every scan, every movement had been detected the moment they entered the solar system. Deep in NORAD's expanded headquarters, buried 3 miles beneath the Colorado Rockies, Commander Ashley Morrison stood before a wall of screens that told a very different story. "They think we can't see them," Ashley said, her voice calm despite the weight of 3 billion lives resting on her shoulders. She turned to the man beside her, Captain Anthony Chen, Earth's foremost expert in xenotechnology. "Are we ready?" Anthony nodded, his fingers dancing across a holographic interface. "The Mercury array is charged. Mars base reports all railgun batteries online. And the lunar installations?" He paused, allowing himself a thin smile. "Well, they're going to get quite the surprise." Ashley had spent the last decade preparing for this moment. While the Zorathians had been watching Earth's public face, the squabbling nations, the seemingly primitive spacecraft, the conventional militaries, they'd completely missed humanity's real preparation. The secret wasn't that humanity was united. It was that humanity had learned to keep secrets. Phase 1, Ashley commanded. Across the solar system, hundreds of camouflaged human vessels suddenly dropped their stealth fields. They'd been hiding in plain sight, disguised as asteroids, buried in comet tails nestled in the rings of Saturn. The Zorathian fleet suddenly found themselves surrounded. Admiral Kreshetok's confidence evaporated. "Impossible. Our intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to see," came a transmission in perfect Zorathian. Anthony's voice echoed through their command ship. "Welcome to humanity's solar system. You should have knocked first." The Zorathians had expected primitive kinetic weapons, perhaps nuclear missiles. What they encountered instead was 300 years of desperate innovation compressed into 30 years of secret development. Humanity had reverse-engineered the wreckage from the Roswell incident, the fragments from the Phoenix Lights, the debris from a dozen other encounters the public had never learned about. The Mercury array fired first, a network of solar collectors that focused the sun's energy into coherent beams of destruction. 3 Zorathian cruisers simply ceased to exist, vaporized before they could raise shields. "Return fire," Kreshtok screamed. But Earth's children were already moving. Ashley watched the tactical display with fierce pride as her pilots executed maneuvers that defied Zorathian understanding of physics. Humanity had learned from nature, from the way birds flocked, fish schooled, and wolves hunted in packs. Each ship was autonomous yet coordinated, chaotic yet purposeful. The lunar railguns opened up next, firing streams of magnetically accelerated projectiles at relativistic speeds. The Zorathians' shields, designed to deflect energy weapons, were useless against solid matter moving at 0.3 C. Ship after ship crumpled under the onslaught. Anthony monitored the alien communications, translating their growing panic. "They're trying to retreat," he reported. "Let them run," Ashley said coldly. Right into Phase 2. The Zorathian fleet turned tail, fleeing back toward the outer system. They never saw the minefield. Humanity had spent 20 years seeding the approaches to Earth with millions of dormant drones, each no larger than a softball, each containing enough antimatter to crack a battleship in half. Anthony triggered the sequence. Space lit up with 1,000 brief suns. When the light faded, 2/3 of the Zorathian fleet was gone. The survivors limped forward, damaged and desperate, directly into the waiting embrace of Earth's actual military fleet, the one the Zorathians had dismissed as primitive. But these weren't the clumsy chemical rockets the aliens had observed. These were human vessels equipped with Alcubierre drives, quantum-entangled communication, and weapons that married human ingenuity with salvaged alien technology. Humanity had learned, adapted, and innovated in ways the Zorathians, with their rigid doctrine and millennia of stagnation, couldn't comprehend. Commander Morrison opened a channel to every surviving Zorathian ship. Her face appeared on their displays, young, human, and utterly without mercy. "You came to our home planning genocide," she said. "You thought we were weak because we fight amongst ourselves. You mistook our diversity for division, our caution for ignorance. She leaned forward. We are human. We've been fighting and surviving and innovating since we climbed down from the trees. We've made an art form of turning our weaknesses into weapons. Anthony stepped beside her, adding in flawless Zorathian, "Tell your empire what happened here. Tell them that Earth is not a victim. It's a trap for predators stupid enough to spring it." Admiral Kreshtok, aboard his crippled flagship, stared at the view screen in horror. His entire invasion force, the pride of the Zorathian Empire, had been decimated in less than an hour. And these humans, these supposedly primitive apes, had been waiting for them the entire time. "Retreat," he whispered. "Full retreat." The 17 surviving Zorathian ships jumped to FTL, fleeing back to their empire with a message that would echo across the galaxy. Earth was off limits. In NORAD, Ashley allowed herself to exhale. Anthony squeezed her shoulder and she covered his hand with hers. Around them, the command center erupted in cheers. "We did it," Anthony said quietly. "We survived," Ashley corrected. "Now comes the hard part, staying ready for whoever comes next." Because humanity had learned the universe's hardest lesson. Peace isn't given, it's taken. And Earth, for all its divisions and conflicts, had proven something fundamental about human nature. When threatened, when pushed to the brink, when facing extinction, humanity didn't break. Humanity set an ambush. The stars held other threats. Other empires, other species that might look at Earth and see prey. But word would spread of the Zorathian disaster. Word would spread of the humans who turned their own solar system into a killing field, who hid weapons in orbits and patience in their hearts. Humanity. Fuck yeah. The end.